These returns are world-class returns that we've been producing and putting out videos on all year long. And your CEO and head quant at happytrader.io. Today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin. It's been dipping recently. Has it made a difference? How well are we doing for the year using happytrader.io? So we're going to load up happytrader.io. We're going to be performing a back test going from uptrend to downtrend only. This is going to be known as our long only strategy. And we're going to look at a couple different time frames. So the first thing we're going to do is switch to the 45-minute chart. The next thing we want to do is make sure that our margins are accurate. So we have our CME Bitcoin futures margin requirement. Look at this, 20 grand for intraday, but 101 grand, 5x plus just to hold one contract overnight. So let's see how that affects our percentage gain. Just a disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is to be used for educational purposes only. Let's get into the back test. We have the dates preset here. Let's go ahead and just start with our margin, and that's going to be the 101266, 101266. We're going to do one contract, no pyramiding, and go ahead and hit OK. The next thing we're going to do is just double check all our parameters. We don't want any orders in succession, so we're just going to make sure that our strategy is loaded up here. And let's just check to make sure we have our close orders that align with our downtrend signals, and we have our buy signals for buy AI, right? So the next thing we want to do is just check our signals, and we have our up and down signals. We want to make sure our strategy superimposes that, and that's what we have there. We're going to be looking from January 1st, 2024 to today, which is June 12th, 2024. This year is absolutely smoking by. And we're going to go ahead and generate the report on the 45-minute chart. You can see that we started out with our margin and we just drifted down to around 95K. Not too bad. We had to pad the account off a little bit. So, just keep in mind, you might get a margin call. It just means you have to pad the account, or you can go delta neutral, meaning you don't have to close your core position, which is our long only in this case, but you can leave the core position on alongside taking an inverse position. When your core position starts to rise like it did here, that's when you can start to unwind that delta hedge. Yes, you'll have a little bit of drag. Yes, it will impact this percentage slightly, but it's nothing compared to taking a drawdown from here to, let's say, all the way down here, or from here to all the way down here. That's a huge drawdown. You don't want to have to deal with that. Everything's looking good on this back test. So for Bitcoin CME futures, 32 trades, pretty cut and dry. 34.38% profitable, totally in line with the Happy Trader conventions. Our winners dramatically outsize our losers, even though we only win 1 out of 3 trades. We have our net profit sitting at 75,125. Let's go into the list of trades and look. And the list is very small. Even the losing trades have a pretty dramatic run up. And a lot of the winning trades have run ups that are just nuts. You can see our winners are just bigger than our losers. So look, you had 3 losers there. And at that point, from January 31st to February 5th, you're probably thinking, man, Happy Trader really got ironed out of the market. It looks like they have no edge. And then bang, $42,000 profit. And then you go on another losing streak. Oh no, I just lost all my profits. Well, boom, $43,000 profit. So you get the idea, right? So that's how, when we go to the overview, we can see that the average trade expectancy for Bitcoin far exceeds that of the equity index futures at $2,347.66, or 1% of that total initial portfolio each and every trade if you take an average out of these 32 trades. So if you're able to hold on or size down, you can use smaller contracts for this type of thing. You don't have to use the Bitcoin contract if you can't afford to use the Bitcoin contract. And it's really important to right size your positions. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just going over how Happy Trader has performed. The other thing is, a lot of traders like to take the signals, set up Happy Trader, super easy to do, set your alerts, and then just go and buy Signal AI. You want your buy alerts, and you can just get into your trade and scalp. You don't even have to wait. Like getting into this trade, you could take profit here. Obviously, we're going to see some mean reversion when we moonshot that much. But then, we got to the downtrend here, and that's a losing trade. that could have been a winner. So there's a lot of ways to kind of trade our strategy. Looks like we're on track for 140% or better, and it does look like the market is kind of just dipping around here. So overall, looks good. 74% so far this year. Just long only strategy, going from uptrend to downtrend. Set it and forget it. Just get your alerts, put on your trades, and take your profits. Let's drill down to the 30-minute time frame and see what we're doing there. Looks like we have a little bit better of a percentage gain, but more trades. As you get into more trades, that's when commission's going to start to matter a little bit. Max drawdown only 17.15%, and the average trade expectancy drops slightly to 1873.98. 90%, that's better than the Medallion Fund. That's better than Rentech. Rest in peace to Jim Simons. He was one of my personal heroes. I just have to say, I have to call it like it is, right? Now, we're not managing the kind of money that Jim was managing at all, not even close. We can't lay claim that we are the best in the world, but these returns are world-class returns, and we've been producing them and putting out videos on them all year long after developing this strategy for over 2 years. So let's drill down to the 15-minute chart, and we'll run the exact same test. We're just going to wait for it to load here. We're going to make sure we are all set up. We're good to go. And we're going to run the same exact test on the 15-minute chart. And you can see a little bit more choppy as far as the drawdown, a little bit of a drawdown there. This one I probably would have delta hedged. This one I probably would have delta hedged when it got to about here. And then you can see just really, really choppy. When you go further down in time, that curve gets a little choppier because you're just trading more in line with the market. You can see 96%. The average trade expectancy down a little bit, but we're back to those happy trader conventions, maintaining at the 32.65. If we go down to the 10-minute chart, let's go ahead and do that. We have 105%, and you can see just a little more cavernous drawdown there. I would delta hedge that, delta hedge that. Core position comes up here, unwind the hedge, and we can see that we had a max drawdown of 24%, so that's probably going to be from here to here. We had our average trade expectancy at $716, and we had a net profit of $106,800. And in case you're wondering, the back testing does line up with the forward testing. Again, you can subscribe, and you can see some of that comparison against the forward testing. And this is really exciting stuff. So let's keep drilling down. This is as far as we're going to go is the 5-minute chart. We might even have a losing scenario here. Yeah, it's just, Bitcoin's so volatile. You can see here, you clearly took a huge L. You would have had to have delta hedged. So I would have delta hedged around 98. If this was my trading time frame, 5 minutes, I'd be delta hedging way sooner. As soon as that position goes under, I'm delta hedging on the 5-minute. When it comes up, I would unwind the hedge. We got chopped up, had to put the hedge back on, but then ultimately 73%. So what makes the most sense for me? Well, 305 trades versus, let's go back to the 45, 74%, slightly better percent return with just a nice smooth graph. So yes, you'll take your drawdowns, right? But no problem at all when your overall drawdown isn't as choppy and as deep as going down to like 60 or 70K and having to do tons of delta hedging and waiting forever, which is the more, laborious part of it for kind of our human brain is patience and waiting that out, combined with the fact that we're winning about 1 out of 3 trades. That could throw some people off, but you can see it pays off handsomely if you stick with it. That is going to do it. I am super impressed with how happytrader.io is performing. It is so simple to set up, and it really seems to be the best indicator on TradingView on a continued basis. The other thing is the R&D that's gone into happytrader.io, which has made, these signals so incredibly powerful. And that combined with a sound risk management technique is a recipe for massive profits. My name's Ryan, CEO and head quant here at happytrader.io. Have a great day and happy trading.